Grand Prix World has been to South America, to South Africa, to Belgium, to Italy and to France. But now, for round 6 of the World Championship, it's come to the place that everyone wants to go to, Monaco. And it's no wonder, because no other circuit has got a setting like this. It's not just the yachts, the harbour and the Royal Palace, but a unique circuit which twists and turns through the streets of the Principality, where the package tours meet the jet set and the enthusiasts mingle with the posers, where if you need to ask the price, you can't afford it, and where there's an atmosphere like no other Grand Prix, where the casino is only too happy to help you win, or better still lose, and where you not only see the Formula One turbo cars, but the sort of road cars that you can normally only dream about, where in short, it really is another world of luxury and opulence. Mind you, not everyone has big expensive toys, but those who do bring them here to see and be seen. But at Monaco, the old, the elegant, the Edwardian and the traditional is living on borrowed time, for development never stops. And as fast as a site can be cleared, there's another tower blocking the view of the one that was built last year. Some old traditions live on though. They're here for the sun, the fun, the colour, the beach, and to get a tan in motor racing's most glamorous, exciting and heady setting. But most of all, to be a part of the adrenaline-pumping charisma of today's Monaco Grand Prix.
Well, as you can see, there's been a dramatic change in the weather, which regrettably looks as though it's set for the day. Now, a third of the way through the season, the 2 World Championships are starting to look like McLaren benefits, with Alain Prost and Niki Lauda first and second in the drivers' contest, ahead of a tie for third between Derek Warwick and René Arnoux, closely pursued by Elio De Angelis and 1982 champion Keke Rosberg. In the Constructors' Championship, McLaren, with 4 wins from 5 races, have a massive 20-point lead over Ferrari, with Renault third, JPS Lotus fourth, and no one else really in touch. Only 20 drivers start at Monaco, and it's a McLaren in pole position, Alain Prost's McLaren, ahead of a superb Nigel Mansell's JPS Lotus. In third and fourth places on the grid, the revived Ferraris of Arnoux and Alboreto, with Derek Warwick, the second Englishman, in the top placings fifth, Torbay sixth, De Cesaris seventh, Lauda eighth, and the reigning world champion Nelson Piquet down at ninth. Jonathan Palmer's going to be watching today's totally unpredictable race, and so sadly is Martin Brundle, who failed to qualify his Tyrrell after a major crash yesterday, from which he happily emerged unscathed.
Martin, by any standard, you have had a colossal accident. You went out on your second set of qualifiers to try to get into tomorrow's race. What happened? Can you remember?
I can't remember too clearly, Murray, unfortunately. Yeah, sure, we weren't in the race at the time, and I went out on my fresh qualifiers. It was the lap. I think I arrived at the corner slightly too fast, and I was so committed to the corner. I don't think there was a problem with the car. I think I just arrived too quickly, was committed to the corner, and there was nothing. There's no room around here to manoeuvre.
Now, they had trouble getting you out of the car. Can you remember that?
Very vaguely. Yeah, I can remember 2 or 3 guys around me tugging away at my helmet. I remember pushing them away, I think, because they were sort of... I've got a bit of a sore neck, as you can imagine, and I didn't want 3 people tugging at my crash helmet. But I was only semi-conscious. The next thing I remember, the crowd, excuse me, the crowd cheered, and the next thing I was in the pits. I must have run back to the pits. I don't know how or where or how I got into the pits. And I do just recall Ken saying, did I want to go out in the spare car? And I said, yes, of course I did. And then obviously that was, I don't remember much after that.
Now, Professor Sid Watkins, who looks after all the medical business for FOCA, has talked to you, has looked at you, and he's given you the okay, I gather.
Yes, he's going to come and have another look a bit later on. So I've got a bit of a sore foot, as I say, a sore neck, but I think I'm in one piece, you know.
Now, I gather you remember enough to have challenged Ken Tyrrell to say that he owes you some money from the contract. What's that about?
Well, I was just coming round and Ken said, he's still dazed, he can't even remember how much money I owe him, and I told him how much and when it's due, so I'd obviously come round at that point, but practice had finished.
Well, thankfully, Martin Brundle is perfectly okay, which is more than you can say about the weather, because as you can see, it's dreadful with the rain pelting down. And because of that, the race will be over a 2-hour time instead of a 77-lap distance. Watch for the lights. Between 4 and 7 seconds after the red will come the green. And as they blast away up the hill for the first time, there is the problem that I anticipated. A carambolage, and it's Derek Warwick who is involved with it. It is Elio De Angelis and Patrick Tombe. Both Renaults in trouble, and Riccardo Patrese, and Warwick has obviously bashed his left leg, whereas in the French Grand Prix it was his right leg. Disaster for the Renault team right at the start of the race. Now they have cranes here, they'll try and winch them out of the way. Alain Prost, after a superb start, has got away in the lead. It's Nigel Mansell second, the two Ferraris third and fourth. And as they go into the tunnel for the first time, it will be to meet the watered road surface, which has had heavy water laid on it. And Tombe is in trouble with a leg injury as well. Obviously, both Warwick and Tombe have got hurt legs, and disaster for the Renault team on lap 1.
Yes, what a terrible tragedy for the Renault team in what to them is a home Grand Prix, and really sad because they've had their trials and tribulations this year. Prost leading here, Mansell going beautifully. Prost made a wonderful start. He got the grip just right, moved the car off the line, and the support fingers to get it moving. He did his job, and we didn't see exactly what happened. We may be able to see on an action replay in a moment, which I'm sure they will show us because they can record from other cameras that we didn't see, and it's surprising that in the wet that both the Renault drivers should have been hurt. Hopefully not seriously, because they're going so slowly that's Derek Warwick standing there, looking pretty unhappy after his accident. It looks like he feels that it wasn't his fault. Somebody may have hit him. Marsha just asking him if his leg's all right, but really a tragic start for Renault. So Alain Prost leads, Nigel Mansell second.
And it's a Ferrari in third position because there's been a change. It's one of the two Ferraris, I suspect that of René Arnoux, and we'll check as soon as we see him come, whoever it is, come into sight as they come out of the chicane into the left-hander at the back into the swimming pool section. And that is Johnny Cecotto, who has joined apparently the retirement. Cecotto, the Venezuelan driver of the Tolman. Now, look, there is the Ferrari. It is René Arnoux in third position. It is Michele Alboreto in fourth place. It is Niki Lauda in fifth position. And it looks like Keke Rosberg sixth. And here's the replay of what happened on lap 1.
Now, hopefully we can see, well, that we didn't really see. But it looks to me, now, which Renault is that spun first? The one on the left. And that's Derek Warwick. So it looks like Warwick spun and lost it. Tambay came around the corner and was actually minding his own business, but couldn't avoid him, made contact, and there was a traffic jam. And what that traffic jam in fact means, which will not please Alain Prost retrospectively, because it rather decimated the field and spread it out a lot, and which means that Prost will be having to lap back markers sooner than normal. Now, the other thing that's going on here, as we said, we're on the pit straight, and just before Sandoval corner, and I've seen drivers braking and then coming off the brakes and back onto the throttle simply because they can't see where they're going and they're not quite sure where they are. And it's that difficult for the cars down the middle of the field. The visibility here, now it's 5 seconds since the car's gone past here, and I still can't see more than 40 yards. I've got about 40 yards visibility.
And there's an enormous amount of misfiring. I think there's going to be a lot of retirements from this race. The two Ferraris are together. There is Nigel Mansell in second place, and we are now on lap 3. That is the race leader, Alain Prost. Nigel Mansell is second. The two Ferraris of Arnoux and Alboreto, as you see, are third and fourth. Niki Lauda is fifth. Keke Rosberg, driving a misfiring Williams Honda, is in sixth position as the race leader, Alain Prost, comes round towards the swimming pool again. And really, if Alain Prost can just pace himself and take it easy and control the slides of his car, he is going to be all right, because they are going to have the greatest difficulty in getting past him. We have a complete power failure now at Monaco, just to compound our problems. The pictures have totally disappeared. I hope that you are getting one. Meantime, we are going to revert to the good old-fashioned steam radio commentary, and as we wait for the leaders to come through on lap 3 in this what will be a 2-hour race, and it is in the lead, Alain Prost. In second place it is still Nigel Mansell. There's a long gap now before the Ferraris appear. The race is dominated by those two cars. Then it's Arnoux third, Alboreto fourth, Niki Lauda is in 5th position. In 6th place, and there's another long gap, is Teddy Rosberg, 6th is Rosberg, 7th is Manfred Winkelhock, 8th is Ayrton Senna, 9th is Jacques Lafitte, and in 10th position with another long gap as this field spreads out is Stefan Beloff. Stefan Beloff has come up from 20th to 10th position in 3 laps, an incredible performance. James?
Yes, he's our man to watch. The Tyrrell is a very manoeuvrable car, lighter than the turbocharged cars. We called it before the start. He was very quick in the warm-up this morning, and Beloff, who has shown considerable depth of talent this year as a driver, is really going for it. And Niki Lauda has now taken Michele Alboreto for 4th place. So the McLaren domination, and there we are, we have pictures back now. I hope you had them all the time, but that, I gather you did have pictures. Well, lucky for you, unlucky for us. But there is Niki Lauda going away from Michele Alboreto, with his next challenge being to catch and pass René Arnoux in the other Ferrari. And sorry about this, but we've lost our pictures again. So we'll try the radio style commentary, and just jolly well hope that you can correct us if anything's wrong.
Well, we've just heard, I'm sure if you've got pictures, you're doing much better than we are, because we've just heard that Lauda has passed Arnoux and is up into 3rd position. So it's a McLaren in the lead with Prost. It's a McLaren in 3rd position with Lauda. It's still Nigel Mansell in 2nd place. Down to 4th goes Arnoux. 5th is Alboreto. 6th is Rosberg. 7th is Winkelhock. 8th is Senna. 9th is Lafitte. And 10th is still Beloff. And the gap between Alain Prost that you look at, number 7, and Nigel Mansell is about 3.8 seconds. No, it's less. Look at that. Nigel Mansell is closing right up on Alain Prost. Is the Frenchman in trouble, or is Nigel Mansell starting a charge? Prost there on Michelin tyres, and Nigel Mansell is on the new Goodyear wet, and it's a very fine tyre which went extremely well in the warm-up period. Picture's gone again, but the leaders are due. I'll give you the gap. It's now, there is Alain Prost, his engine is misfiring, and Nigel Mansell is sounding in good shape, 2.71 seconds, and this is lap 8. As you see Prost and Mansell going up the hill towards Casino Square, very close to each other, much closer than they have been. It's conceivable that Nigel Mansell is going to be up with Prost soon, but then he's got to get past him.
Well, Nigel Mansell is driving an absolutely magnificent race. He shunted himself up onto 2nd position on the grid. There we are, fastest lap for Nigel Mansell. And he shunted himself up in practice. He's on absolutely top form. And if you look at it, there's not a lot of spray there because of the speed, but he really can't get any closer to Prost and still see where he's going. So I would suspect the confident way in which he's holding on to Prost, I would suspect that Nigel is playing a waiting game, waiting for a mistake. There's no hurry. There's another hour and 20 minutes or so. Hour and 40 minutes before the race is over. And this is plenty of time to pressure Prost into a mistake or wait for the track to dry a bit when he'll be able to see better. And I would suggest that Prost is doing, that Mansell's driving a great race.
That's Francois Hainaut, as you see from the caption, the second of the 2 Ligier drivers. whereas behind these two, there's a great scrap developing for 6th position between Keke Rosberg, who's holding it, and Ayrton Senna in his first year of Formula One Grand Prix racing, the Brazilian in the new Tolman. And he's got the good Michelin tyres this race. And that is Alboreto on lap 9. Michele Alboreto has stalled his car. I can't see where it is, but it looks as though he's obviously out of the race. He's gesturing that he wants a push. And Michele Alboreto is continuing his season of appalling bad luck, because number 27, the Italian, has won one race and failed to finish in all the others this year. This is the battle I was telling you about. Keke Rosberg in 6th position, just ahead of Ayrton Senna in the yellow helmet and in the white Tolman, the new Tolman. And Senna has come up through the field. He started in 13th place and he's now 7th.
Well, Senna has shown an exceptional talent. He was, and the wet is where the talent shows. And Senna in Formula 3 last year was dominant, except for the challenge from Martin Brundle, but Senna has proved his talent subsequently. He drove in a celebration club race, if you like, for Ionas, in which yours truly came a distant and rather dismal 10th at the new Nürburgring celebration, and he won that and he beat everybody. And Senna is very, very talented indeed.
Now, Lafitte in, obviously, for tyres, which is very interesting because he started on wets. Now, I imagine he may have spun. There's Arnoux. And Senna and Rosberg, followed by Winkelhock and Stefan Beloff, with Lafitte coming out of the pits. And now, on lap 10, it is Alain Prost leading, 2 seconds ahead of Nigel Mansell. In 3rd position, it is Niki Lauda. In 4th position, it is René Arnoux. 5th now is Keke Rosberg. And in 6th position is Ayrton Senna. Or is he 5th now? No, it's still... And there's Senna. That's what John Nielsen did in the Formula 3 race yesterday. And he went off very badly indeed. But Senna's made a marvellous recovery. A real veteran, the 1982 world champion, Keke Rosberg, leading Ayrton Senna now. And in the lead now is Nigel Mansell, has taken the lead. As you see, Corrado Fabi sitting in a stationary position in his car on lap 12. The Englishman, Nigel Mansell, in the John Player Special Lotus, has taken the lead from Alain Prost, with Niki Lauda in 3rd position, with René Arnoux closing up on the Austrian in 4th place. In 5th place it is Keke Rosberg, and in 6th position it is Ayrton Senna. 7th is Winkelhock, and right behind Winkelhock is Stefan Beloff in 8th place. So you've got 2 German drivers fighting for 7th and 8th positions. There is the new leader. Nigel Mansell leads on lap 12. This is the first time that Nigel Mansell, as Prost goes through in 2nd place, has ever led a Grand Prix. And Ayrton Senna has now passed Keke Rosberg and is in 5th position. So, Mansell leads, and he's now got the benefit of a clear circuit in front of him, unlike Alain Prost, who's now literally having to take Nigel Mansell's spray. With Michele Alboreto is in the race, incidentally. He has rejoined the circuit somehow or other and is back in the running. And on lap 13, it's Mansell leading, it is Lauda, it is Prost 2nd, it's Lauda 3rd, it's Arnoux 4th, and closing on Lauda as Nigel Mansell comes through to complete another lap. In 5th position, it is Ayrton Senna. And there you see the stationary Ligier rolling back. Obviously, he's lost the engine, and it is that of François Hainaut. He's done it wrong again somewhere, somehow. Mansell is through and away. Prost in that 2nd place. Lauda is in 3rd position, and Ayrton Senna is now in 4th position. He's ahead of René Arnoux, having already passed Keke Rosberg. So the brilliant Brazilian is now showing the class that we've always known was there when he was in Formula Ford, Formula Ford 2000, Formula 3, and now Formula 1. Alain Prost tiptoeing round the swimming pool after the race leader, and Nigel Mansell now very coolly dealing with things. He is in his 49th Grand Prix. He is no new boy, but it's a new experience for him to know that he's leading a Grand Prix. The Renault engined JPS Lotus is sounding crisp and clear. Prost goes through, his engine rumbling. He has now lapped. And off goes Nigel Mansell. I spoke too soon. Mansell lost it in the biggest possible way. That was the race leader. Now look at this. His wings damaged. That's going to affect his downforce.
Yes, it's possible. Oh no, I think he's damaged the suspension. The car's all over the place. And that was really a terrible, terrible mistake by Nigel Mansell, because he was pulling away from Alain Prost. He's handed it back to Prost, and all he had to do was to keep the thing straight. But when I say that is by no means easy, and poor Nigel Mansell. He's done so well up till then, and I think that was a mistake of inexperience. It's very difficult. When you lead a Grand Prix for the first time, it's very easy to make mistakes. I myself in my career made several mistakes when I first led Grand Prix before I actually won one and got the confidence to go on and not make mistakes, but that is tragic.
This is the replay of what happened to Nigel Mansell coming up the hill. He loses it, as you see, flings on left lock, the car spins round, Nigel looks, there's nothing he can do about it. It must have deranged the right rear suspension, and you can see for yourselves that it's damaged the wing as he drives away. And we look down the perfectly clear hill now with Alain Prost back in the lead, with Niki Lauda second, with Ayrton Senna now in third position. This is quite sensational, and I do use that word advisedly. Prost has gone through, the rain is bucketing down, Nelson Piquet is out of the race, and we really are not going to get very many finishers, because Alboreto has gone past me with his Ferrari misfiring very badly indeed. Now there is Arnoux, that is Keke Rosberg, there is Stefan Beloff, and on lap 16, the order then is Alain Prost leading, Niki Lauda is second, Senna is in third place, Arnoux is fourth, Rosberg is fifth, and in sixth position is Stefan Beloff. And then Senna is showing now Niki Lauda his front wheels, but Lauda, of course, is not about to move over under any circumstances at all. Prost has gone through, and that is the gap between the race leader, Alain Prost, and this battle for second place between Lauda in the Marlboro McLaren and Senna in the Tolman, as they come round the Rascasse, out of it and up the finishing straight. Out of the Rascasse now, and Prost has gone through some 24 seconds ago already. And there is Arnoux, with behind Arnoux in fifth position, Keke Rosberg, and Senna challenging for that second place, and he's taken it. A magnificent bit of driving by Senna, who's now in second place.
Yeah, that was absolutely marvellous. Senna went round the outside of Lauda into the Rascasse, and that was brave and skillful.
Lauda third, Arnoux fourth, Rosberg fifth, Beloff sixth, absolutely together on lap 21 as they come up to Patrese to lap him. And Riccardo Patrese is not exactly the best-known man in the Grand Prix world for moving over and letting you through, so we could see a telescoping of this battle between these four men going from third to sixth positions. Arnoux, Rosberg, Beloff. They're paid a lot of money, and you see now why they earn it and how they earn it. Arnoux, Rosberg. I'm glad to tell you, incidentally, that Patrick Tambay is all right. I thought he'd hurt his leg quite badly, but we've had the good news that Patrick Torbay is perfectly okay, as Lauda, who has got past Patrese, pulls away now, and Arnoux is going to try and take the Italian. There's Manfred Winkelhock in 7th position. This will give him a chance to close up. They're going into the tunnel. This is the 21st lap. Mansell, of course, out of the race, as are Torbay, Warwick, De Angelis, Cicotto, Corrado, Fabi, and Nelson Piquet. And look at, there he goes. There goes Stefan Beloff. Beloff has taken Keke Rosberg and moved up into 5th place in a superbly judged passing move.
Yes, and judged is exactly the right term, Murray, because you can't see a thing where you're going, so you've got to eyeball everything up, look where you are on the track, shut your eyes, as good as that, and just hope that it all works out. And Beloff has done exactly that.
And is now with Riccardo Patrese, who is practically a full lap behind him, and he's shown the blue flag by the marshal, which means there is someone behind you who wishes to pass you, as if Patrese didn't know. There is Arnoux, 4th. And Stefan Beloff goes through. Riccardo Patrese does move over and let him through. Rosberg, now, Rosberg drops back, and as you saw, with Winkelhock closing up on Rosberg, who is 6th, and there's Beloff giving it the big slide treatment as he goes into the tunnel. René Arnoux is getting very close to Niki Lauda, who is 3rd. The race order on this, the 22nd lap, as you look at Keke Rosberg, is Alain Prost leading. Senna, let us not forget that, is in 2nd place. 3rd is Lauda. 4th is Arnoux. And there goes Beloff. And Senna now with a lap of nearly 2 minutes, 1 minute 54, and a big spin for Niki Lauda. Now, Lauda then is just having to press it a bit too hard. 3rd position has been lost by Niki Lauda. Up to 3rd goes René Arnoux. Up to 4th goes Beloff, and out of the race goes the Austrian double world champion Niki Lauda, because obviously he lost his engine, stalled his engine, and was not able to restart it. And he's just overcooked things. Here he goes into Casino Square, chased by René Arnoux on the replay, who was then in 4th position, followed by Beloff 5th. They exit the Casino Square, and as they do so, Lauda spins out a full 360-degree spin. He got the right amount of lock-on, but it was no good to him. His engine has stopped, and Lauda is out. Well, it would seem that Niki Lauda's engine may have been drowned by the water conditions, in which case whatever happened to Lauda's engine might conceivably happen to Prost. So we'll have to keep a very careful eye on the McLaren of the Frenchman Alain Prost in the lead. And he's 31 seconds ahead of Ayrton Senna. Lauda walking in to report to Ron Dennis what has happened. And he won't exactly be wanting to exchange any jocular quips with the marshals, I'm quite sure of that. This now is lap 26 with Prost leading, Senna 2nd. The battle for 3rd between Arnoux and Beloff there. 5th position now is Keke Rosberg, and up to 6th, and in the point, Elio De Angelis, with a bitterly disappointed Nigel Mansell, who had led the race out of it after spinning and damaging his suspension and rear wing. I didn't think the rain could get worse here at Monaco, but really it is. It's not just dropping down, it's really heavy driving rain now.
Beloff had an opportunity there, but unfortunately for him it was at the wrong place. He's having a look down the inside too, and I would think that he's going to try and get very quickly around the right-hand part here of the Casino Square and maybe try and outbrake him down into the Mirabeau, and he's well positioned to do it. And he's got the inside line, and Arnoux going to hit him. and that was a little bit naughty by René Arnoux, and Beloff did terribly well to avoid it, because Arnoux, without any doubt, moved unjustifiably into into Beloff rather, who had to get up on the curb to avoid him, and that was very, very well driven by Stefan Beloff.
Who is now in third position, and as you saw, Riccardo Patrese, there is his green Alfa Romeo, has joined the retirement on lap 26. Alain Prost in the lead is being caught quite rapidly. Here is Alain Prost on his 29th lap. Ayrton Senna has got the gap down from 31 seconds to 18 seconds.
Yes, this means that at the current rate of progress, Prost is going to have to find another gear, because Senna is catching him quite comfortably enough to do it well before the end of the race, with plenty of time to find a way around him.
Here's the leader. Senna second, Beloff third. The two new boys of Grand Prix racing this season in second and third places. Arnoux is fourth, Rosberg is fifth, and catching Arnoux, De Angelis is sixth, the last man to be on the same lap as the leader. Alboreto is a lap behind in seventh place. Ghinzani is the highest he's ever been in a Grand Prix, in eighth position. In ninth place is Jacques Lafitte. Then 4 laps behind the leader, but now out of the race, Patrese, as is Lauda. Winkelhock is retired, Mansell's out, Piquet's out, Hainault's out. There are very few people left running in the race, and there's going to be even less when it finishes. I can't believe that they're going to keep running this race. The conditions are the worst I have ever seen in a long, long time of watching races. Now here is Prost coming through again, and I'm going to start the stopwatch. 15 seconds was the gap. If Senna is continuing to close at the rate of 3 seconds a lap, Prost is waving his hand. Prost goes through, waving his hand at the officials. He wants to stop the race, and who can blame him? Now, I'm just waiting for Senna to come through, and the gap as Senna goes through, quite dispassionately, is down to 11 seconds. He's taken 4 seconds out of Prost's lead. And what will happen if the race is stopped? Well, at this point, it could be that they will just decide the conditions are so bad that they can't restart it, in which case the positions as they are now would be declared the final race positions, and half points would be awarded. And it might conceivably mean that, as in the French Grand Prix a couple of years ago, the race will be restarted later when hopefully the conditions have improved a bit, although I can't see much likelihood of them doing so. And out is going the red flag. The race is being stopped. There's an official in front of me with a red flag. The Monaco Grand Prix is going to be stopped. Well, there goes Prost into the Rascasse corner, chased by Senna in second place, just about 2 or 3 seconds behind him now. There's an official right in the middle of the road now, showing the red flag, and the checkered flag is going out. They are stopping. This is going to be the end of the Monaco Grand Prix with Alain Prost. And Prost is stopping, and Senna crosses the line before he gets there. Now, that's amazing. Prost has stopped actually on the line. Senna passed him as he got to the line, but subject to official confirmation, I'm virtually certain that Prost has won with Senna second.
It will be really a tragic result for Senna. However, he's not about to be world champion this year. He will undoubtedly be world champion in the future if his career continues. So whilst he has every reason and every justification for being very upset, he's got a big future.
So, after appalling conditions which have resulted in the Monaco Grand Prix running a distance of only 31 laps, as a result of which half World Championship points were awarded, victory for Alain Prost. In second position, Ayrton Senna. Third, Stefan Beloff. Fourth, René Arnoux. Fifth, Keke Rosberg. And in sixth position, Elio De Angelis. Alain Prost increases his World Championship lead over his teammate Niki Lauda, with René Arnoux in third position, Derek Warwick fourth, Elio De Angelis in fifth position, and Keke Rosberg in sixth place. McLaren have increased their already enormous lead in the Constructors' Championship over Ferrari, with Renault in third place, John Player Special Lotus in 4th, and the Williams team in 5th position. And today's appalling conditions certainly produced some spectacular, if very unhappy, situations. There is the problem that I anticipated, a carambolage, and it's Derek Warwick who is involved with it. Big spin for Nicky Lauda. Jackland off goes Nigel Mansell.
Going up the hill flat in 5th the one time, there's white paint on the road, and I put my car maybe 3 inches to the right, a little bit too much going up the hill, and in 5th gear, under power, I just touched one of these white paints, and I immediately got wheel spin, and it just flicked the car sideways into the Armco, which wasn't a problem, except the shudder went through to the front of the car, and it made the front almost jump, and I lost the steering, and then the car just got thrown across the track into the Armco the other side. And when you're going sort of fairly quick in 5th gear, there's nothing you can do.
It's your 12th victory. How does this compare with the other 11 before? Was it better or as good, or what do you think?
For sure, it's the most difficult, and I think I did one of the best races I've never did before. I did the best pole position I've never did, and that helped me a lot today because I did a good start also. And I'm very happy to win here because last year and 2 years ago I had to win this race, and I'm very happy not only for this race today but for the championship.
Just in the laps before the race was finally stopped, Ayrton Senna was catching you very quickly, but do you think that you could have held him off, or was he going so quickly that he would be passing you?
He was much quicker than me, but the track was so slippery, so dangerous that I decided to go very slowly. I had some problem with the brakes. And when I've seen that Senna was behind me, he's not current for the championship. He has no point at the moment. So I have already decided that if he was just behind me, I'd let him pass. It was much better for me to get some points for the championship and do not win the race.
Any criticisms for starting the race in the conditions, and do you think it should have been stopped sooner?
Well, I feel that the tunnel was a complete joke. The idea of flooding the tunnel to try and make it the same as everywhere else didn't work, because as soon as we went through there a couple of times, it was even more greasy than before. I've never driven in those conditions, and normally if we were testing or even qualifying, I doubt very much that you'd have one car out there. I mean, you had Nicky Lauda, who's won the World Championship a couple of times. You have the 2 Renault drivers, Derek and Patrick Tambay. You have many seasoned drivers, and including myself, that I feel I was penalised beyond any belief in my own book, because I feel I drove a very good race, and I did make a small error, but that error was about 3 inches on a piece of white on the road with no grip, and the conditions were so severe that even a good driver cannot get it back. You know, you're just in trouble.
Nigel Mansell got it wrong in the lead, but all credit to Alain Prost, who quite literally did not put a wheel wrong today, and he's going to be out to increase his already enormous championship lead in Canada in 2 weeks' time. We look forward to telling you about it.